shit, man. Yo, if this was the old days.
Yeah, now, well, the thing about the old days, they the old days.
What's the difference between the limp dick and the Snyderverse fans? They will never ever rise up. So, in late 2022, Warner Brothers Discovery established DC Studios as its own film studio within the company's larger umbrella and hired writer-director James Gunn and producer Peter Safran to spearhead the next era of DC movies. In January, they announced the initial lineup of DC Universe movies and shows, which will include Superman and Batman reboot movies alongside shows starring existing DCEU characters like Amanda Waller. Despite DC's plans for their franchise relaunch, Warner Bros. Discovery still had 4 DCE movies set to release in 2023, and a box office statistic for 2 of them shows just how badly a reboot is needed. And I'm sure the Snyderverse fans are still crying, bitching and whining, bring back Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder is never coming back. Zack Snyder is happy at Netflix, and Warner Brothers and James Gunn will never, ever, 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 ever in their entire lives hire Zack Snyder. Never say never, I suppose, but it's looking more and more likely that they won't do it. And they shouldn't do it, because Zack Snyder should just do his own thing and be happy over at Netflix. As long as, the Rebel Moon Star Wars ripoff isn't trash. It's not a ripoff, Truth. Shut the fuck up, you nerd. Anyway, Sony's 2022 Spider-Man spin-off movie, Morbius, was a notable flop for the studio. That movie was horrible, earning only $167.5 million at the worldwide box office. Since the movie had a reported budget of $75-83 million and films need to earn twice their budget to get back the additional costs of marketing, Morbius barely scraped by even with a second theatrical release. Still, Morbius managed to outperform not only Blue Beetle, but Shazam! Fury of the Gods, both of which had higher budgets. Blue Beetle ended its box office run with a global tally of $127.5 million against a budget of $104 million, while the Shazam! Fury of the Gods sequel earned $133.8 million against a budget of $125 million. The fact that Morbius outperformed Blue Beetle and Shazam just goes to show you how the general audience were not invested in the Snyderverse / DCEU anymore. And this is what fans will never ever understand. Everyone thought that bringing back the Snyder Cut on HBO Max was going to be this huge global phenomenon, right? Remember that lady who said Zack Snyder's Justice League was a global phenomenon? Well, obviously that turned out to be utter bullshit. Hey, I believed it. I bought it because I was so desperate for Zack Snyder to come back to the DCEU that I was willing to believe anything. Like, I was just willing to fucking bend over like these Snyderverse fans are continuing to do and just take it up the ass, anything to get back Zack Snyder. But at the end of the day, this is show business. What's the big word here? Business. And Zack Snyder's Justice League did not generate enough business to justify Warner Brothers bringing back Zack Snyder and giving him another $400 million, which he will need to complete Justice League Part 2 and Part 3. And not only that, you have to pay these actors millions of dollars. Ben Affleck alone is worth $25 million. That's his starting salary. So, in order to do that, these movies need to make a profit. And not just barely a profit, but a profit. You think Warner Brothers was absolutely thrilled that Batman v Superman made $845 million? You think they were happy about that? You think they were fucking popping champagne bottles? No. Most of those executives jumped out the fucking window. You think Kevin Feige would be happy if Avengers Endgame made $845 million? No, he would execute most of the people that worked there. Endgame, Marvel's Endgame, Avengers Endgame, made over $2 billion. Let me say that one more time. Marvel's Avengers Endgame made $2 billion, compared to Batman v Superman, which arguably has 2 of the most iconic superheroes of all time, right? Batman and Superman are more popular than any Marvel character in the entire world. I don't give a shit what you say. And that movie didn't even make $900 million. Batman v Superman, easily, that's a $2 billion film, easily. and it didn't even crack $900 million. It was on the same level as fucking Thor Ragnarok. What? It was on the same level as Guardians of the Galaxy. As a matter of fact, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the latest Guardians of the Galaxy film made more money than Batman v Superman worldwide. A fucking talking raccoon and a tree made more money than Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. Like, and these people, these Snyder cultists are like, oh my God, it did so well. It did so well. Like, are you fucking retarded? Like, this is why I don't listen to any other DC YouTubers, because they are just gone. Batman v Superman is a $2 billion franchise, maybe even 3. Wonder Woman is a $1 billion franchise. All these DC characters are worth billions of dollars, and they are just barely making profit. Barely. That goes to show you that a lot of people did not like Zack Snyder's take. It goes to show you that the Warner Brothers executives are fucking morons. They're clueless. And that's why you need a creative like James Gunn. That's why you need a producer like Peter Safran, who's a great producer, but who also loves comic books. You need the two of them to make sure that these DCU films from now on are making profit and are great films. They need to be great films, number one. That's the most important aspect. Make great movies. And number 2, gain back the trust of the general audience. Will they do that? We just have to wait and see. But I'll tell you this, I have far more faith in James Gunn than I will ever have with these fucking executives over at Warner Brothers, because they don't know dick. They don't know anything. They think Captain America is part of the Justice League. They're fucking clueless. Anyway, continuing. Since Snyder's Shazam! Fury of the Gods, No Blue Beetle managed to double their budgets with their box office earnings, both end up being even bigger bombs in Morbius. Oof. This is especially egregious when taking into account the fact that Morbius was so poorly received by audiences it became a meme. Folks online showed ironic devotion to the to the erratically panned movie, turning it into a joke, and somehow convincing Sony to re-release the movie only for it to flop at the box office for a second time. There was no real support behind the movie, much like the Snyder Cut, which showed in the box office, and yet Morbius outperformed 2 of the DCU's 2023 movies. That is undoubtedly a sign of the DCU's direction needing to change. Think about that, right? You know how fans say, "We're all the DC fans, huh? We're all the DC fans." Well, nigga, where were you, huh? Where were you? When Zack Snyder's Justice League was released, where the fuck were you? I didn't see you. Where was your support? Why wasn't Justice League the #1 stream service in the world? Why wasn't Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, to be clear, why wasn't that the global phenomenon? Why didn't Zack Snyder's Justice League take over the world? Why didn't Zack Snyder's Justice League propel HBO Max to be the #1 streaming service in the entire world? Where the fuck were you? Oh, that's right, because we are a minority. Because the rest of the world didn't give a fuck. The rest of the world moved on. That's what happened. Continuing on. The final DCU movies have struggled at the box office for a number of reasons, one of which is a loss of interest in the franchise leading up to its relaunch. There's little reason to care about Shazam and Blue Beetle's movies if they don't have a future on screen, and even before the DC reboot was announced, since there was little connectivity between movies, audiences could pick and choose what to see. Now that Gunn and Safran are taking on a role similar to Marvel's Kevin Feige, they are gearing up to do a soft reboot of the franchise and usher in an era with a central creative drive and more connectivity. I love it. So as long as the movies of the new DCU are genuinely entertaining, the relaunch should be able to fix the DCEU's box office problems. Again, the big question is, are these movies great? They have to be great. They have to be great. The trailers could be phenomenal, but if the movies are not good, then the fucking DC brand is fucking tarnished. The DC brand is tarnished. If these movies suck, then I don't know what Warner Bros. is gonna do. they might as well just fucking put DC on ice for a while. But the bottom line is, the Snyderverse was not a success. It wasn't a success. Oh, Truth, you just hating. No, I'm speaking the fucking facts. I know some of you like to live in a fucking fantasy land and think that Zack Snyder's Justice League was fucking, that his whole DCU was fucking beloved. It wasn't. It wasn't. Zack Snyder's take split the DC fandom. It split it in fucking half. That's not good. You want the DC fandom to fucking unite and fucking be unanimous with their love and affection for these movies. But the fact that there was such disdain for these movies just goes to show you that, hey, Zack Snyder, you tried, you know, you were at the helm, you were the creative, but, you know, people didn't like it, so we move on. And now Zack Snyder's happy on Netflix. Hopefully Rebel Moon is great. And hopefully James Gunn does a great job with this new DCU, because I'm rooting for him. I really want him to succeed, because if James Gunn succeeds, DC fans succeed. And these movies stop flopping and people start taking DC movies seriously again. Otherwise, the fucking alternative is going to be that Warner Brothers is just going to stop making DC movies for a good while. I don't know. Maybe we need that. Maybe DC movies need to stop being made. Who knows? But I'm rooting for James Gunn. Love you all. Stay safe. Hit like, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, TikTok, your sister's ass cheeks, and let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Love you all. Truth out.
These young niggas got my dick hard.
What the fuck?